And as he puts on the glasses of occasional knowledge, we now signifying this is like a ritual. It's like it's like the tiffin on the rabbi's head at the wall. Uh, this is now an open chat, so we can have a little talkie here. Hey, little talkie walkie, and yeah. So we got 6 people in and 2 thumbs up. So we have 13. Whoa, they're breeding. They're breeding like rabbits. They're breeding like rabbits, and here they come in. Gareth from Athlone. Sealy, is that how you pronounce it? Hello, Maurice. Hello, Maurice. Hi, Thomas. Shona from Scotland. Someone from Leeds. The animal or something. Truth Convo. Hi, Bonnie. Bonnie Phillips. Hi, Bonnie. Haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you're well. The Church of Flying Spaghetti Monster. You get a stripper factory and a beer volcano when you die. That sounds pretty good. That sounds good. No, I mean they're decent people. Liverpool again. Good to see you. Margate. Margate's near London, isn't it? It's like it's on the River Thames. It's a port, isn't it? Okay, Ellen. I got something to tell you, Thomas, and that was I don't know who said that. Truth Convoy. Missed you the past few days in Perth. I've been good though. I have been nothing wrong. I hope you're all well too. I've missed it too. It's short for Michelle. Shell. Hi Thomas. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm doing great. New Jersey Pine Barrens. Yeah, New Jersey. Yeah, I like New Jersey a lot. It's a good place. Leicester. Nuremberg, Germany. Oh, it's a new one. Very nice place. I was at chat at a physics live stream with David Brom and Oppenheimer. Yeah. Vancouver. I'm good, Bonnie. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very good, actually. All things considered. And the chats have vanished. My beep. Oh, they're back. Here we go. Limavady. Have you seen the Survive? Oh, the Prehistoric God King video? No, I haven't seen it, Josh. I saw it. Is Thomas doing the ad for it? The promo he did for it on Instagram. No, I haven't seen it. It's on his. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. I'm looking forward to it though. Well, Valpurgis Night this rise this week, Human Elf. Really enjoyed it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm very proud of that book. And it was one of those books I really enjoyed writing. A lot of interesting stuff. People up the UFO community. Oh yeah, why not tell you about the stuff about the UFO stuff? I was on looking at an Irish mainstream board the other day, and somebody asked, "Hi, Philip," on Somerset about do you believe in UFOs and flying saucers? And all these Irish like normies, all suddenly who wouldn't a few years ago would have all slagged it off, are all like, yeah, there's definitely something to it. Now I don't know if they're priming this lot for like something like a blue beam or something like that, or there's some kind of disclosure thing. But it was very interesting how receptive the kind of fuckers who would have like attacked and slagged people off 4 years ago over this stuff are suddenly kind of very agreeable with the UFO thing. You know, not so much aliens, but the UFO thing. And even somebody got on at one point and said it's it's really connected to modern fairy folklore. And usually there'd be the type of wankers who would shut it down, shout them down. And they were actually, oh, that's very interesting and stuff like that. So it's fascinating how this corner has been turned on the UFO thing. How agreeable many people have become. There we go. Yeah, I immediately thought of your streams. Thank you. Wet Somerset, loving Maurice. Maurice just appeared out of the blue like this, Definitely disclosure. Yeah, I agree, Mr. Lovecraft. Nah, reptilian stuff doesn't. That's all bollocks. That doesn't exist. That's all made up. That was just. There's nothing. There's nothing behind that. Maine. Whereabouts in Maine are you? I love Maine. Stephen King and Lovecraft country. Well, most semi-Lovecraft country. Margate, Kent, yeah. The hottest in England, Ramsgate. Yeah, you're not that far from France. From Brixton to London years ago. Yeah, Brixton has changed a lot, hasn't it? It's kind of become like hipstery. No, not the Nephilim. That's all made up bollocks as well. There's nothing. I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't be something like that, but those names they use, like Nephilim and all that, that's all made up stuff. New Vaughn coming soon? Yeah, definitely. Probably next week I'll definitely get one. I have some good stuff to talk about. Yeah, it'll probably have on midweek or something. 96 in, and you're all very quiet. Are you having your dinner? 2021 predictions? I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, I think they're going to milk this Rona thing as long as they can. The Flying Dutchman, is that the ship that like is a ghost? I knew a fella who worked for. He died last couple of years ago. A lovely fella called Nick who lived around here. He was an English guy and he worked for years on tankers with BP, traveling around the world. And he was he when he joined BP as a young guy in the 70s, he was telling me they'd have to dress for dinner with the officers and stuff like that at the in the ship and all this. It was a real old fashioned English British merchant navy thing. A lot of them are ex Royal Navy, and some of the stories he told me about ships that and weird things in the middle of the ocean, like massive lights moving under the ocean in the middle of the Pacific, or ships that were right next to them and were not appearing on the radar and wouldn't give them a signal and had no lights on, or ships in the distance that they would like see and just vanish. There's weird things happen in the ocean. It's like one of those Fortean things that's never spoken about, and the reason with that is the way the career thing works in shipping, especially back then, it was like you had to make sure your reputation was impeccable, and any sign of anything to do with mental illness, they wouldn't let you on a ship because you could be dangerous, or you might commit suicide, and it causes problems for the shipping company. So when all these people used to see stuff at sea, like paranormal and 40 and stuff, they would never talk about it until they were retired and years later, because it was very, career wise, it was very, very difficult to bring this stuff out. But the stories, I wanted to interview him on camera, but sadly he died of cancer last year. Very nice fella as well. He was like a throwback to like an old fashioned England. And sorry when he passed on. He was a lovely fella, but I was also sorry I never got a chance to get this stuff on camera. Would you ride an alien for 50 grand? When now years ago, do you remember that movie that Robert Redford and they said, where Robert Redford and Woody Harrelson, would you have sex with some guy's wife for $1 million? And we started talking about, like, would you have sex with a fella for $1 million? And I was like, yeah, for 1 million, yeah. I think we got down to like 5 grand in the end. Indecent Proposal. Yeah, it's not a very good film. Nathan, how you doing, Nathan? It's not a very good film. Did you live in the Ballymun Flats? Indeed, I did. Thomas Clark Tower on Shangan Avenue, 10 Shangan Avenue. Kenny Everett was a Scouser, I didn't know that. Shelley. Switzerland here. Thomas, I have a question. We have moved into a new house. We got a lot of sea salt, local council welcome thing. What's the significance of sea salt? It's the electrical mineral content of it. It's Rosemary Allen Garley spoke about this as well. Electrical energy seems to disrupt these entities, and also negative forces. And by using the salt, which is highly crystalline, and it's got a lot of electricity in it. That's how that works. And sea salt, the ocean is full of electricity, and that's that the sea salt carries that. Purified space with salt. Yeah, throw it around. Make sure it's definitely sea salt. The best sea salt seems to be from the Dead Sea in Israel. Have you seen The Cell? No, is it any good? Oh, you know what's really good? I watched the first one last night, and I'm going to watch the other two tonight. The Enfield Poltergeist. It's a true story about happening in Enfield in London in the 70s, about a family who were affected by a poltergeist. I even remember reading about it as a kid, and it scared me. But there was a TV series made of it, of 3 episodes or something, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Watch it. The acting is fantastic in it. Even the kids. Where's your mask? I have my fuck off mask in the house. Electric Universe. Yeah, that's a very interesting idea. That very interesting. Dark City with Kiefer Sutherland. No, I haven't seen it. I don't like Kiefer Sutherland, but I haven't seen that film. I mean, I wouldn't not see a film because someone's in it. Yeah, it's Sean. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. The first one blew my mind. The acting outstanding. But the fact it's a true story, and they really captured the sadness of the family. Yeah, I didn't like Midsummer. A few people asked me about that. I did not like Midsummer. It was just a boring breakup movie. What do you think of acoustic music versus electronic music, folk music? Yeah, I've no problem with electronic music. Electronic music can be just as rich and beautiful as acoustic music. I really don't have any problem with electronic music at all. None at all. And I quite like a lot of it. There's Anto's here. Oh, yeah, Anto. Same Pat supporter. Greetings from Finland. You should have a proper visit here. Yeah, I definitely will. People had invited me over. Well, they're going to be moving back soon. But I was like, I definitely want to go. And I'm sad that I ruined. Well, I didn't ruin. It was a bunch of. And we went to the piss in Helsinki. I made a campfire the other day and decided to record it on video. A strange looking spirit. Yeah, well, pyromancy. It's a real thing. It's a real thing, pyromancy. What did you think about Blade Runner? Well, I like Blade Runner, but I wouldn't say I'm mad about it. Is Catcher in the Rye worth reading? No, it's pretentious bollocks in many ways. It's really not a very good book. But what's interesting about it is the way it kind of mentally affected a whole generation of Americans. But it's really just about an asshole, That's really what it's about. And I read it and all the mystique about it. It was kind of a cult. It was a cult book in the 50s and 60s among American teenage boys. And it was it's just about an asshole, That's basically what it's about. And I mean, yeah, is it worth reading? I don't know. Maybe it is worth. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it, especially as you mentioned Bristol City and Rovers. Tell me who you follow in football, Philip. Well, I follow Bohemian FC, and that's the club in Dublin I grew up with, and they won yesterday against Shelbourne 2-0, and they've restarted the league here with empty stadiums, and my foreign team is Everton and Liverpool. Toronto, hey, Pet Shop Boys. Yeah, Pet Shop Boys are good. The Unabomber was a genius. If you read his manifesto, it's brilliant. It's like he totally predicted, Davey, the world we live in today. But you can't be blowing up people. I know it brought attention to him, and he got that 1-page spread, that 2-page spread over in the New York Times, and he achieved his aims. But I can't blowing people up, and they were innocent people too. Really, they were not monsters. So the Unabomber's his ideas excellent, his methods no, simple as that. Spent the day prepping. Good. Oh, just think of prepping as like a pantry, like a grandparents had. Dead Cant Dance. Yeah, I love I love the first album. The first album, what was it called? Something from a Dying Planet. The one with the statue of the woman at the graveyard. That album I love. It's the only really Dead Cant Dance album I really, really like. The rest of the stuff is quite nice, but that's the only album that I love. The first one. Bought a Thin Lizzy album today because you've spoken about them highly. Good. Which album did you get, Spotless? Can you sing when Irish Brains are fluoridated? Here we go. When Bob Dylan style. I have to get into Bob Dylan mode. When Irish brains are fluoridated, your neurology is frozen dead. But when Irish brains are fluoridated, they put metals and heavy toxins in your head. When Irish brains are fluoridated, you're not as lucky as can be. 'Cause when Irish brains are fluoridated, you are basically a vegetable. Or something like that. Yeah, that was years ago. I did that live. Have you seen The Colour of Space? Yeah, I liked it very, very much. I'm not a big fan of Nicolas Cage, but I did like that film. Is the sun behind me? Probably a ghost. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you very much. Do the Maurice character. When Irish brains are fluoridated. That was when Vaughn was live. He used to go live on the air, and I used to have my keyboard and my guitar and do the song. It was brilliant crack. Fluoridated Guinness. I don't drink Guinness. I'm not against it. It doesn't. Guinness doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't. It doesn't sit right with me. I can't digest Guinness properly. It like there's lumps of coal come out of my arse for the next 2 days. I am in love with Maurice. Yeah, all the ladies love Maurice. Did you see Nantes Cathedral went up in flames this afternoon? There's a second big cathedral, Notre Dame first, and now Nantes St. Paul's, I think it was, went up in flames today. This I'm pretty sure that Nantes, the ones in Nantes, the cathedral wasn't built on a pagan site, but it went up in flames. It's two major French cathedrals gone up in flames, and both arson. Favorite Irish joke. My favorite Irish joke was told by Bernard Manning. Irish family gathered around the breakfast table, and the mother goes, "Sean, I have something to tell you." And he goes, "What's wrong with you, Bridget?" And he goes, "Sean, I have a yeast infection." And he puts down, in disgust, he puts down his knife and fork as he's eating his breakfast, and he goes, "Bridget, how many times did I tell you to never talk about your cunt in front of the KIDS?" That's my favourite Irish joke. Yeah. No, I don't think he's behind that. I think that was Muslims, I shouldn't say that, jihadists, who set the two places on fire. That My other favourite Irish joke is, did you hear about the Irish abortion clinic that went out of business? They had a 12-month waiting list. How are you after the earwig thing? Yeah, I'm okay. It's at the point now where I'm more like trying to understand it. It actually, I don't think it is. It was an earwig. That's what I thought it was. I'm not that up on insects, but there's a thing called the Devil's Coachman, and it's a beetle that has a gigantic horns on its back, like a it looks a lot like an earwig, but it's called the Devil's Coachman, and it's a beetle. Now that does have a spiritual context to it, because beetles do have a very when you think of like the Egyptian mythology and Jung and everything, beetles do have a very strong spiritual significance to the subconscious mind. Scarab beetle, yeah. And the famous story that Jung told when a woman was telling him he had a dream about him, and he opened up and a beetle was banging on the window, and it was a scarab beetle in Switzerland, and the chance of that beetle having made it to Switzerland would be just like incredible. It was way beyond Halifax, Nova Scotia. Hello, Joe. Bernard cat, stop me do. Can you tell us yourself living? Can you see yourself living in Ireland in the years to come, Seamus? Yeah, I can. I mean, I do love Ireland. It is a fun country, and there's a lot to do and see here. And it'd have to get really bad for me to want to leave. I do. It's an interesting country to live in, and it's not like it's a good country. It's got a good standard of living and everything, but it's expensive. It's a very expensive country to live in, but at the same time too, it's safe. The crime is really low here, and you know most people are very nice, and it's a very interesting. If you like me, and you're interested in like history and ancient stuff and all that, like Ireland is like great for that, and if you like the countryside, and it's a good country. I like living here. Now, I'm not saying it's like it's better than anywhere else or it's worse. It's just that it suits me, and I'm happy. I'm happy. I mean, I've been all over the world, and I still like Ireland. I never had a reason to dislike it. Yeah, no matter where you live, like it can be a pain in the ass. Like you just to deal with it. Would I ever do tours? I'm thinking about that. Yeah, it might happen. That's something that like a few people like I've had bad experiences with that in the past. Things have went wrong. People have had cancellations. Just things didn't work out. But I've been approached by people that have the financial backing and everything to do it properly, you know, and so on, But it's like, we'll see about that. Like that's why I don't really have any plans going forward. I'm kind of living day to day until this Rona thing is finally out of the way and we have a better understanding. I haven't seen The Conjuring. Is it any good? A gorilla mask, good idea. Get yourself a gorilla mask and then put a mask on top of that. Yeah, definitely something like that would interest me. There's the H.P. Lovecraft. Hey, Linda. Mark Passio lately. I just want to know. I quite like Mark Passio. He seems like an okay guy. I mean, he's praised my work in the past, and I quite like his stuff. His natural law stuff you know, is is very good. I mean, I can't complain about any of that. He's a bit hardcore at times. The guns and stuff. But he's an American, so that's his culture, and that's okay. But yeah, I have no problem with Mark Passio. He's a very interesting and intelligent man, and he's very articulate. Do a video about Greta Thunberg viewing humans as parasites again. See, the thing with that Greta Thunberg, she doesn't know what she's saying. She's totally programmed by her parents. I'd be more interested in doing a film on her parents than I would be on her. Much more interested, actually. Thoughts on those of us who we all feel displaced by the modern world, don't we? All I can say is that know thyself, seek the truth, and communicate with nature. I'm not writing at the moment. Well, I kind of am, and I'm on and off. I'm writing, but I don't have any fixed thing that I'm charging into. I think when the Rona thing ends, I think I will. I think I'll bang into something. I have drawn the electrical jester. It's on my blog. I I will when this video is over and I get in the house, I'll find that article where I drew the picture of the electrical night jester, and I'll post it in the bottom of the comments, on top of the comments, so you can have a look at it. But I definitely did draw it. I drew it the moment I woke up, and my hands were shaking when I was drawing. I'm not doing any. I've been. The other day I went to my studio finally because it's 25 kilometers away, and I was able to finally get there. And I got talking to some of the artists who have places in there, and just talking to them about painting and stuff, and got the goo in me again. So I might start painting again. I have some ideas using some kind of monochrome things. I've lost a lot of confidence I have in my painting. I just don't think I'm that good sometimes, and I don't know why that is. I know I'm not rubbish, but I know I'm not amazing. But I have kind of lost my confidence in that, I have to say, if I'm honest about it. Greta looks like Chucky. She does. I love those Chucky movies, transplant movies. Vancouver Island, Mr. Glenn, Sheridan, distant relative. Us Sheridans are probably related to Aleister Crowley as well, because they were the tribe. They were the tribe next door, the Crowleys, in County Cavan. Thank you, Teresa. Mark Passio is always angry. I kind of understand why he's angry, but it wouldn't be my style of things. But when he's articulate, he's very good. What exactly are mirrors? I don't know. Hey, Mayo, just up the road. That's where I was today. Mayo, mirrors. Mirrors are strange. Very strange. Don't know. What are mirrors? I don't know. Very strange. I think I'd be doing more abstract stuff going forward. Sarcasm is sacred. You got that right. Yeah, they could be portal to other dimensions. Have you seen Geiger's Necronomicon? Not the actual book, because the last time I saw it in a bookshop, it was sealed in plastic. You couldn't open it, but I've seen a lot of the art. An art, yeah. Tony Sheridan used to be in the Beatles. No relationship. A lot of people have asked me that because I've a lot of family in Liverpool, or had a lot of family in Liverpool. But no relation that I know of. I don't know, Dr. Mikovic. Sorry, Renee. I like your videos on fairies. Thank you. I like them too. If Biden wins the election, the Rona will cease to exist. Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that the other day. The whole thing just seems to be a takedown of Trump. All of it. Are you aware of the Kelly family from Kildare? No. Greetings from Liverpool. Lots of Liverpool here tonight. Your memes are missed on Facebook. Still 16 days to go before that ban is up. If you follow, I'm posting lots of memes to Instagram. If you look down in the description of the videos, you'll see how you can follow me on Instagram. And I'm also posting memes and articles to Twitter, so you can follow me in those two places. Just look down below in the description of this video, or previous videos, the last video, the one before the last video, and I'll put them on this one as well when I get back in. The Conjuring was a huge disappointment. The Conjuring is about the Enfield haunting. I think I do remember that. I think I might have seen that. Marina Abramovic. I'm fascinated by her, to be honest with you. I don't understand why so many people hate her. And I mean, she's unfortunately she's connected to some nasty people, but I find her absolutely fascinating. I find her art fascinating. Yep, your Instagram page is on fire. Good dog talks. Thank you. It's gonna be better too. Do you do readings with normal playing cards? No, that's interesting though. I've seen people do it. My estranged paternal grandfather Odell's surname, yeah, Odell is anything with O is Irish, and a Mac with a MAC is Irish. MC is Scottish. I don't know if they're the same as machine elves, Jamie. I don't know. Is that Wayfair thing real though? Is that just another made up thing like all the other crap? I haven't really looked into it, to be honest, which is I shouldn't really be saying it, but I don't trust any of these things when they say these latest exposés or information. I never trust them because they always turn out to be bullshit. What is a gin? Watch Rosemary Ellen Guiley's video. The guy from Miles from Bases, the chap from Northern Ireland who does those bases, he's interviewed her and she talks a lot about that. So so look for that. It's Rosemary Ellen Guiley's interview on bases on YouTube, and she explains better than me. Better still get her book, the gin book. Oh yeah, I do believe in other realms. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. I don't know any Odells. No, sorry. Do you think the Jinn and the fairies are the same? Yeah, I think they probably are. Don't quote me on it, but I mean, there's a Pakistani chap that lives up here, and he's like a young guy, and like I talk to him. I talk to him a fair bit because he's the only person around here that likes cricket, and I'm the only one of the few Irish people that does like cricket as well. But he's like, he said, yeah, maybe the fairy. He thinks maybe the fairies and the Jinn are the same thing. Bases, yeah, that's the one, Renee. Miles from Belfast interviews him. I have the Gary Lackman book, the Beyond the Robot, the Colin Wilson one. I quite like that. I didn't really like the Trump book, and I haven't the Dark Star one. I didn't really like it. It didn't do anything for me. But he's a good writer. There's no doubt about that. It's the subject that he writes on. That's what I'm into. Skinwalker Ranch, fascinating. I would love to go there. That's one place I'd like to take my camera and some people. There's definitely something about that Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah, the Nebulous videos I will do more, definitely. It's just getting. I don't make videos for the sake of making videos. I have that thing. Let me see. Chewtonic Magic originated from probably from the Chewtonic Magic definitely came from Germanic shamanism and Celtic shamanism magic from ancient times. It's funny you don't hear, although you know you don't hear about the druidic stuff within Germanic magic. The thing is that in Germany, that and in Northern Europe in general, Finnish witches kind of controlled all the magic, and they were imported like missionaries. Using and there was they would do rope magic, magic involving ropes and ropes that were used to murder people, hang them, and or strangle them. And there was a belief that these ropes had a magic power in them. That's why, up until very recently, when they would have, yeah, Neil Oliver's things have been great, Ava, Ave, uh, what you gonna say? Ropes that were used to hang people. And Max was always nice to me, and his girlfriend is a friend of mine. But like, I never had a problem with Max. He was always nice to me. And what was I going to say? Oh, sure. Yeah, the ropes that were used to hang people, they were had a magical charge in them from the death energy of the person they hung, and that's what Finnish magic was very. It must have worked because it was extremely popular all over Northern Europe. I have a few film reviews lined up. I'm not going to tell you what they are because there's going to be surprises. But yeah, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed them. First time I've seen Mikko as well. Harold, welcome. We always have a nice time here. We're among this lovely tribe of people that I have. I'm very fortunate to have in my life. That your channel, B Man. I'll check that out later. I'm gonna look through the comments. Hi, it's worth checking out. Bayman123. I'll check that out then. What do you talk about, bro? Yeah, because the shot. No, not the umbilical cord. Yeah, well, that's used in magic. But when they'd hang a person, the death energy would fly up their spine into the rope. Yeah, Max was really not always got on. Max was always friendly with me, and I always found him a very nice fella. I never met him, but I spoke to him a few times online. I'm good friends with Sarah. Money for old rope. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That they used to buy the rope, the hangman's rope, and because it was believed it had a magical power. No, and Comet Near wise, I haven't seen it because it's overcast. But tonight it's clearing up, so tonight I might see it. I might see it. Yeah, Dave, that's nice. I heard that someone's telling me that Dave Cullen mentioned me. He's always that's nice that he mentioned me, and John Waters mentioned me there too. I don't want to talk about what happened, Max. It was just so sad. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. I just felt so bad for all the people in his life. His mother was very badly affected by it, of course. I don't really want to go into. I don't really want to go into the story of what happened to Max. Respectfully, and it's so sad. Dolphins along the Jurassic Coast. That's down your way, isn't it? Like Devon and that part of the world. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, we get dolphins up around here. They come around usually around Christmas time. Big ones, massive on porpoises too, and they come very close to the beach. And they're not very friendly, these ones, but you just get so many of them sometimes. Maxwell Tapes got some interesting gold cassettes. NPC Theory from Jacob. Are there more living bodies than souls? Yeah, I think that's the theory that well, it's not my theory, but I think one I go with is there's not enough souls to fill all the bodies on the earth. Review Spaceships 2, Rise of Zartog. I never heard of it. Oh, the Bosnian pyramids. I don't think it's that mountain as a pyramid, but it might have been shaped to like one, and it definitely is some interesting stuff going on there. And I do have a contact who lives very close to the pyramids, and has offered to show me around and be an interpreter. But unfortunately, the it's expensive to fly from Ireland to Bosnia, and I was quite shocked by it was like the airfares were like 300 and 400 euros, and there was direct flights to Sarajevo, And then, but I was looking at other flights. It was probably cheaper to go to Dubrovnik in Croatia, but it was that was the problem. It was really expensive to fly to. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was cheaper for me to fly to like somewhere like Dubai than it was to fly to Bosnia. I don't know why that was. And there was regular flights. There was like two airlines flying flights a day out of Dublin, but they were just this expensive. I don't know why. No, that's amazing about Ireland. That's very true, CMC. No dinosaur fossils have ever been found in Ireland. Yeah, Brian, a finite number of souls. Maybe could be possible. Are you going through that Prague tour next year? Maybe, maybe not. Again, Maria Wheatley were to do it together, and well, the Rona wrecked it, but then also she's gotten really popular, and she's doing really well in America, and it's like hard to get the time, and she has the keys. And into the castle, into the parts where the tourists don't go, because she's very good at contacts. She's very good at making contacts. But I'd love to do that at some point. Yeah, there's definitely something going on with the Bosnian thing. I wouldn't call them pyramids, but there's definitely something going on. I was just talking about Guinness. I can't drink it. It doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't agree with my system. I like lager. That's the beer I like. Any kind of lagers. Good quality ones. I won't drink those piss ones. Evening. Silver. Shiny gi. Oh, you got a shiny gi, do you? Woo! She got. She has a shiny gi. I like the gi. I like the woman with the shiny gi. Thomas, do you believe powerful beings maintain the functioning of the universe? No, I don't. I believe that it'd be us, you're human beings, if there was any powerful beings. And I do believe that low-level entities have convinced humans that there is some kind of slave race. Guinness is filler if you don't have enough. Yeah, well, in Ireland, that was the whole. Poor men used to drink Guinness as like food. It's like food, because it was eaten and drinking in the pint. Have you noticed my roaster Korea is clearing up a lot? I don't know ancient existence of elephants. I don't know about that one. Sorry, I don't know about that. Shiny ghee for the Coachman. You know what Guinness I do like to drink? There's the bottle of Guinness, and Guinness down in Waterford have a brewery, and they in Waterford for some reason people there only drink Guinness in pint bottles, and the pint bottle of stout from Guinness tastes completely different than the draft, the pints. And the bottle of Guinness is lovely. It tastes like it's got a bitter kind of flavor, but it's nothing like the stout you get in the pub, and it actually sits better with me. It's more like a porter. Have you ever had a porter? It's more like that. Yeah, it's so the bottles of stout, the pint bottles of stout that they do down in Waterford. You can get them around all around the country. They're really tasty. Yeah, I don't know why they drink it in bottles down there. Yeah, porter's lovely. Porter's a lovely drink. I drink porter more than I'd ever drink stout. Why is language a curse? Yeah, it can be, but you use it to free yourself. Is the harp on the bottle? No, no, the harp on the bottle of harp beer is the royal insignia of Ireland. It's actually the harp of the English royal family, and that's the Irish state still use the harp. The harp is the royal insignia of Ireland. It's on the royal banner of the English royal family, and I don't think it should be our national insignia. It's actually the harp of David, King David. That's really what it is. Can't get away from that crap. And the harp symbol, the Irish flag, I do, and the flag of Leinster, which is the province on the east of the old kingdom, where Dublin is, and the east of Ireland, is that a gold harp on a blue flag. It was the original flag of the Kingdom of Ireland, and the Kingdom of Ireland was an English vassal state, and that harp ended up. It doesn't matter if it's faced a different direction. It's still the same harp. It's the argent of King David, and maybe even the argent of Lucifer if you bring in the uh, the Freemasonic stuff in it. West Kensington, very posh, originally from Sligo. You've done very well for yourself. Now, what they should use for Ireland is the triple spirals at Newgrange. I don't care the background of the flag is blue or green. I don't care, but definitely the three spirals at Newgrange. That should be it's one of the oldest graphics on earth, and that should be on the flag. A stylized version of that. Keela, I not only do I like Keela, but I know some of the fellas from it, and yeah, I know Rossa from Keela. He gave me his book, Our Father, on how to correctly pronounce and use the fada, the stroke over vowels in the Irish language, and he's an interesting guy. So I know some of the guys from Keela. Yeah, great band, brilliant. Yeah, but Rossa gave me a book a few years ago. He's a very interesting guy to talk to. What's the most energised part of Ireland? Most of the country is, but there's certain places that are very dark, like Tipperary. Don't ask me why. Excuse me. Don't ask me why Tipperary is dark. It just is. Yeah, the national Bamishire, but Ireland used to be known as Wolf Island. The beauty of the wolves here was what kept the Puritans and the Protestant Reformation out of Ireland for centuries, because they were afraid to come to Ireland because there was so many wolves here. Lunacy? I don't know. I haven't heard, but any good? What's the best protection against all this negativity? Creativity and keep a sense of humor, and laugh at it. Don't take it too literally. Memes and go to memes and videos making fun of it. Don't get caught up in it. Amityville, especially the first one. Oh yeah, that's a great film, classic. And I have some great photographs from when I visited the Amityville house before they rebuilt it. It still looked like how it looked like when the DeFeo family were there. That's why Tipperary is famous, because of that song. But there's a dark energy in Tipperary. All the towns down there have a dark vibe. Rosscray, Nina, Tiptown is a dump. What happens is there's a lot of junkies living down those towns, and Limerick City, Tipperary surrounds Limerick City, and a lot of the junkies and criminals were given money to leave Limerick City, and they all ended up in these surrounding towns: Nina, Rosscray, Cahir, Carrick, Clonmel, and that's why it has a dark energy about it. The Wicklow Mountains, I've seen many weird things there. The Wicklow Mountains was a very strange place. It's right next to Dublin, but it's incredibly underpopulated. Paul Tone, I think you remember Phyllis Simon seasonally use it. Yeah, that's. Do you eat it wet? No, I dry it out. I dry it out on sheets of newspaper. I don't use it anymore. More Liverpool. Lots of Liverpool. No, the banshee is an Irish myth. It means literally. It's an Irish word. It means literally the white fairy, or the white woman fairy. Bannon she. Yeah, this Nina. That's where they made the ambulances. Nina, Nina, Nina. Sally's Gap. Yeah, it's lovely. Wicklow's a beautiful county. Do you think the English music scene, and obviously, where's that? I lost that. Do you think the English music scene, and obviously everything else, is literally failing to make something else darker? I don't know. I just think that like the problem with the Haunting of Ellen Rose is great. I think the problem with music these days is the producers have far too much power, and it's not about talent. It's about like money. Dwyer from Sligo. Yeah. What English music scene? Yeah, it's like what Ireland, what Irish music scene. Used to be a great music scene here, and it's like it's just gone now. When I was in a band as a very young teenager, we used to make £500 a week from just playing pubs around Dublin, and helping friends who had bands, just roadieing. There was so many pubs would allow bands to play and stuff. It's all gone now. Who's Malcolm MacArthur again? Vicksburg, Mississippi. The South is like that, isn't it? Though Moon Pie, the South is this beautiful melancholy about it, but also a darkness as well in some places, as well as a beautiful energy. The A lot of the U.S. Deep South reminds me of Ireland. Energetically was. Yeah, beige, corporatized bullshit. Do you think Trump has a team of sorcerers? I think. Well, the fact is, your man. What was his name? Oh, what was his name? His advisor who left was going on about Julius Evora as being his main influence. So there's definitely something going on. The first punk record, Radiators in Space. Yep, brilliant. TV Tube Heart. Yeah, gentrification is a huge problem all over the world, Matish. Everywhere. Steve Bannon, yeah, so yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. He's like this a very interesting Irish American guy, and he's constantly quoting on from work like that. There's definitely, yeah, something going on. Southport, Merseyside. I was there not too long ago. I had no idea it was such an impressive town. It's a very nice place. It had this massive main street, like really wide. I was very surprised at how impressive Southport was. Hello, Thomas. This is Maya. Uh, I heard you say the no contact strategy actually draws its roots from Slavic magic. Could you refer me to this? Years ago, I read a book on Slavic shamanism or something. I don't know what it did, can't recall the title of it, but it talked about using based. It was called I forget what it was called, but it was done in Bohemia and in parts of Poland, and what a community would decide that somebody who was bad for the community would be just ignored. You would like they didn't exist, and it was an actual magic thing. It was actually like a spell thing, and they would go mad and from not from being ignored and go to another town. And it was when I read that I was saying, Jesus, that's how you deal with a toxic individual. You don't engage with them. And that I mean that's what I came from. Don't ask me the name of the book. Don't ask me where I might have even read it in 14 times or something, but it stuck with me for years. I'd love to remember where I got that, but it definitely was in Bohemia and parts of Poland. Has Trump time travel? Well, Josh said he looks like the Emperor Julian or Julius, is it? Atlanta, I know Atlanta well. Very nice place. Douglas Murray did a nice tribute on the radio on Trump's speech. I didn't see that. Andrew Breitbart assassinated. Yeah, Clinton Foundation. Clinton Foundation have unbelievable power, even here in Ireland. The Clinton Foundation, Julian, even though the Clinton Foundation has no power in America at the moment, it's extremely powerful around the world. And like, if you look at the mainstream Irish journalism, it's like Clinton Foundation, Clinton Foundation, Clinton Foundation, Clinton Foundation, and that's echoed in the UK and Canada and other countries. New Orleans. I've never been there. I've always wanted to go. New Orleans. I love that movie Angel Heart. It really captures that kind of 1950s darkness about and coolness about New Orleans. Yep, people are still wearing masks, and they're being from Monday. They're made compulsory in Ireland. They're already compulsory in Ireland on public transport, and now they're compulsory in shops from Monday. Yep, they're still wearing them. Trump has the power of Prometheus. Forethought and isn't a typical person. No, he isn't. No. Oh, I didn't know that. His father was hit by a car. Yeah, no, Andrew Breitbart was definitely assassinated, and it would be the Clinton Foundation would be the or Clinton people connect that. €2,500 fine if you don't wear a mask. Oh, Jesus. Well, I'm not going. The small shops where I live, I'm not going to wear the mask because one, they're businesses and they need my money, and they won't hassle me. But then I've noticed a lot of cops in the village lately. I don't know what that's about. So I mean, I don't know. I have that mask that says "fuck off," so I can turn that inside out and wear it if I see coppers. A lot of the coppers seem to be going to the supermarkets to buy things, and I don't think they're actually really buying things. You see, like two coppers go into the supermarkets, and they'll buy, uh, a sodas or something like that, or coffee, from the coffee machine, and then they walk out, and it's like, they have coffee and all the sodas they want back at the station. What are they doing buying it here? I think they're just like looking for people. I don't know what that's about. I don't. That just a presence. Don't know about that book, Recovering the Lost World. Didn't know that about Tesla and laboratory and Trump. Did Tesla have a laboratory? I don't. I just think he lived in an apartment in New York at the end. Angel Heart, yeah, grilling film. Well, I don't know if they're totally corrupt. I know coppers here who are quite decent people, so I couldn't say that. I think I don't know. I met like lots of very nice ones, so I can't really say that. I know, but I'm exempt technically. Yeah, Trump is Scottish, and he's very proud of his Scottish roots. But I think I read somewhere else he has like Irish ancestry too, but he's mostly Scottish. Well, it's funny enough you mentioned about that female copper who gave the database file to a drug dealer. That was up the road here too as well. I better be quiet about that. The Bowie is Tesla and the Prestige. That was a good film. I liked the Prestige. That was a good movie. That Michael Caine. Now this guy's a real magician. What do you think of the Isles off the west coast of Ireland? I've been to a few of them. They're very beautiful, interesting places. Yeah, I mean, there's some of them that I wouldn't mind spending a few weeks alone in winter just to see if anything happens. They are kind of like some of them are like, but a lot of the ones like the Aran Islands are so full of tourists now. They've lost their magic. Well, it's probably a good time to go visit them now, but the islands are locked at the moment. You can't get onto them. And I have a friend who lives in which is Inishclear, Inisheer in the Aran Islands, and they haven't been properly able to get in and out, and they just have the army and the military delivering groceries and everything. It's during the lockdown, and they're fairly that's fairly romantic. Holy Mountain. No, I haven't seen that film. Is it any good, Dave? Yeah, he is the ultimate mean. Well, Tesla said that there were voices coming through his on his radios that couldn't be accounted by human transmissions. Yeah, it is pure evil. I agree. Cost of living was always expensive in Ireland. Ireland was always expensive. It was never cheap here. It was always expensive here. That book Against Man Against Nature is pretty good. It's a good introduction to Lovecraft. I like it a lot, and the way he puts the Call of Cthulhu in the back and a couple of other stories as an intro. That's a good book to get into Lovecraft. He doesn't dwell too much on the racist elements. He doesn't dwell too much on that. It's like when I see an article on Lovecraft or anything on the line, and the first thing I'll check out Holy Mountain. Then thanks very much for that, Dave. The If it starts with the racist stuff, I just won't read the rest of the article. I'm sick of that trite shit. Sick of it. Japanese mythology has a centipede. Yeah, in the Druid code, he spoke of an underwater city of Kerry. Yeah, this is a High Brazil. And every, there's various, and there's also Tir na Nog, which is very similar. But in Irish mythology, there's a repetitive thing of a city or a land of ancestors that's beyond the sea that sometimes appears, where in the case of Tir na Nog, it seems to be in a different time, space-time continuum. Now, when I think about things like High Brazil and Tir na Nog, I think of these photographs or islands that seem to appear. Like there was an amazing thing in 14 Times about 25 years ago about people who had been flying from Liverpool to Belfast. Uh, and when they fly over the Irish Sea, would see a fully developed island with fields and everything that shouldn't have existed. It wasn't the Isle of Man because it was too south. It was closer to the middle of the Irish Sea, where the Isle of Man is up towards Ulster, Scotland end of things. And lots of people had reported seeing a country, an island, a populated country island in the middle of the Irish Sea that doesn't exist on any maps or in there. And it's been, especially in the 70s, people had reported seeing this island, including pilots. So maybe something like High Brazil, or maybe it could be, I think Ireland is part of Atlantis, and so is a lot of England and a lot of Scotland and Wales, and all of Western Europe as remnants of Atlantis. But it's just like these cities that appear in the sky in photographs and videos. It could be from another dimension, and it appears for a short time when another like time slip from an altered reality, and then vanishes again. Exactly, that's what I'm saying, Jamie. Like those cities in the sky. And so people down in Kerry or somewhere probably would see this big island off the coast, and then they say, wow, look, there's a country out there, and it would vanish. Just like the story from the 70s of the big island in the middle of the Irish Sea that all these people flying between like the north of England and Northern Ireland kept seeing, but it wasn't there. Have I been to Inishmurray? No, and you can't go to Inishmurray at the moment because some asshole stole. When you hear this, they stole on the island. They had the remains of the druidic stuff and the Christian stuff, but they had folklore stuff like balling stones, which were cursing stones, and some asshole of all the people who visited the island, some asshole. Yeah, I go to Coney Island all the time. Some asshole stole the ball and stone. You can drive the Coney Island, the ball and stone, and they've stopped having visitors to the site to protect it. To just take one asshole to ruin it for everyone. Although I know someone has a boat who could probably get me to Inishmurray on the sneakily. We go early in the morning. Quartz is the best crystal. Yeah, they ruined it. They ruined it. You used to be able to just casually go out there and visit the ruins and stuff. Assholes. I was pissed off. The Skinwalkers, we were just talking about that. Yeah, I do believe in that. That Skinwalkers Ranch, I'd love to go there. I'd love to go there. The F train, well, not that Coney Island, the original Coney Island, just up here. I like the Brooklyn Coney Island too. Yeah, I guess the Igor thing could be. I don't know. I haven't really looked that much into that whole thing. Phony Island. Yeah, so it's all gentrified now, isn't it? I couldn't tell her Hess from her Cant. Very good. Galway Bay is nice, but I don't like Galway City. There's nothing to do there. Totally overrated. Full of hippies and artist types, and there's nothing to do there except get drunk. No, I think by many mansions, I think he meant different class systems. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I don't know of any entity. I don't know. I mean, I haven't done it, but I know people who have, and they don't. And it all depends on, you shouldn't be doing magic, especially summoning, if you're in the wrong frame of mind. It's like anything, just be careful. Animal symbolism, massive thing. I wouldn't have time to talk about that. It's just a huge topic. Eat or burn sigil. It's up to you. Both people do both. Tell that story about the concert you went to and the mobile phone. When I went to see Roger Waters, the Wall, Sam, that one. And people were just watching the concert through their apps and through their mobile devices. Is that the one? That's when I realised that the normies and couldn't tell the difference between what was on the stage and what was in their hand. This reality here was just as real to them as being real life, and that was a big wake up moment for me. It was like 2015 or 16. What is the truth? What is the truth? Yeah, the midwestern part of the United States, well, there's loads of megaliths and ancient mounds and stuff around there. Chicago, before the city was built up, was full of like ancient sites, apparently. You can create sigils to represent anything, man. I thought you would be a Hindu already, Matish. I don't know, there's lots of very good videos on YouTube that introduce it. Can I personally define water? Well, Maria Wheatley taught me how to do it in Donegal. We were up there, and that's one of her main, that's her living, and well, yeah, I found the water. The two rods came together, so I guess I could do it. She's right to ban mobile phones. What do you think about American pop culture and its internalization? It's the same everywhere. It's shite. No, I don't live in a prison planet. I mean, not literally. It's how you. It's like it's how they want to make you be. You don't have to accept it. Have you ever seen Michael Flatley concert? I saw Riverdance, but not when he was in it. I don't have a problem with Michael Flatley. He's a clever guy. He's a self-made working class guy, multi-millionaire, who took something like Irish dancing, and which used to be just something that was done for competition in Ireland and stuff like that, and made a massive industry out of it. So I've got a lot of respect for Michael Flatley. Seems like a nice fella too. Loch Ness and I think we need Champlain, have both sightings of monsters and are full of quartz. Interesting, interesting. I didn't know that. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. I like that. Almost done with your sorcery book. Such a good read. Thank you, Bran. Mr. Mensa. Wow, that's awesome. I love her. For loads of questions coming in. I'm not ignoring you. It's just a. No, I haven't seen that movie. Looks is highly recommended through the Terrifying Catacombs of Paris. I think I meant to see that one. From the Pilbara. Where's Pilbara, Arthur? Thank you very much, Mel. I'm glad you like the books. My dad's village is the source of cool. Zardoz, yeah, I like Zardoz. It's interesting. I can't understand it. It just gets a bit crazy at the end. It's just mass murder. But I don't really understand Zardoz. Northwest Australia, that'd be very exotic to me. Hello, Christine. Zardoz. Zardoz is still the only feature-length Irish science fiction film ever made. They've never made a feature-length science fiction movie in Ireland since Zardoz. Lulu, yeah, get Valpurgis Night from Lulu, Renee, please. That'll get me the better cut. No, Alistair Crowley's house, Boleskine House, is on the shores of Loch Ness. And if you've seen my video, Aurora Storm, about that, it's on the Open Course of Cults TV channel. Maybe someone can find it. But I spoke extensively that I believe that Crowley created the Loch Ness Monster and then didn't close the ritual. And that thing has been in the water ever since. And that's why you can't properly photograph it. It's not actually, it's an elemental. I don't know about that Wayfair thing. I'm just, I just don't trust any of these things. They never turn out to be true. Iceland Air is making pilots be flight attendants. I don't know what that's about. Burial or cremation is there? I'd rather be burned, to be honest with you. I don't. I'm not crazy about burial. It's like I'd rather be burned. Yeah, I'm on Instagram until I get back on Facebook, Matish. The link is below in the descriptions. Not this one, but look at the other videos. The first Illuminati, yeah, okay. There was, before the Bavarian Illuminati, there was a belief among educated people in Europe that there was a group called the Illuminati and that they were the descendants of the Gnostics and they existed in Spain and Italy and they were highly secretive but they were undermining the church's power. And they were kind of a secret order among artists and poets and intellectuals and scientists and stuff like that. And they were believed to be in France, Spain, and Portugal. And it's believed that this highly secretive order, the original Illuminati, were the ones who started the Grand Orient Lodge in Paris. So they may well have started Freemasonry, well, at least the Grand Orient Freemasonry. But that's what they were. There's not a lot. I have a few books on. Not an awful lot about them, but they were basically, they were a lot of the sort of people in Europe at the time of the Reformation and all the witch burnings and the sectarian wars. They developed this almost kind of Robin Hood mystique. They're saying the Illuminati will come and save us. The Illuminati will stop all this bullshit in Europe and herald in a new intelligent age. And in a way they kind of did, because the Illuminati became the Masons, and the Masons created the Enlightenment, and the Enlightenment played a huge part in the development of the United States and also the ending of sectarian wars and things like that. But I do nothing with that. I'm an achiever. Achieving man, I'm an achiever. Achieving the plan. Mrs. Sheridan, do you like motorbikes? I used to have a PMX and a few Hondas and stuff years ago when I was younger, but no, I'm not a huge fan. No, I do like motorbikes, but I'm not. I'm not a motorbike head. The Hole in the Ground was a very good film. I thought the girl who played the mother in that film, she was brilliant. Her acting was great. I really liked The Hole in the Ground. Very good film. That scene at the end it reminded me a lot of the Borderlands, but it's horrible. No, I don't believe that's a Kenneth. That's a new age thing. I think your soul. Well, according to the Theosophist, after you reincarnate many times, you can have a choice to go to into the soul of the universe, and that's like probably not a million miles from Hinduism, where you become a truly enlightened being. But I just think you come back in another body, or maybe live this life again. It's like a refinement process to get better and better, undo the mistakes and not do the mistakes. I don't know. Black Cat Magic, I wouldn't know about that. Tolkien and Lord of the Rings, yeah, I mean, fantastic stuff. Yeah, it's Christian focused, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Tolkien and on his work and his whole mythos. Even if it does have Christian overtones to it, it doesn't matter. It's still fantastic. How do you see the dystopian future? Like everything else, it will collapse in time, Aurora. It will not last. It will, everything changes. Everything changes. The orcs would have been like, I think the orcs would be like what the fairies would be in Celtic mythology. They were like demons, yeah, like a demon race. I like your name, Octopus a Go Go. Good evening. Hello, Don. Yeah, no, that's it. Just remember that it won't last. Everything will fall apart eventually. 302. We get some great numbers for these talks, these live chats. Pranic healing, definitely something to it. Definitely something to it. I felt that I had some stuff work done on me in Sri Lanka, and I definitely felt amazing after it. Yeah, a few people asked me. I think that the gin and the fairy could be the same thing. Could be. I'm not saying. No, I'm going to try and see what later on tonight. I'm going to stay up late tonight and see if I can see it. The comet, Neo-wise. Very interesting name for a comet. I think, and a strange name for a comet. The best comet in years, and it comes out of nowhere. Sadhguru, I don't know that much about it. Sorry, Joseph. Yeah. Long term fasting, I guess like it would help you. I wouldn't do it. But I guess, yeah, I mean, that's a big thing within like the Vedic thing is fasting. But they don't fast completely. Yeah, well, things are speeding up definitely in terms of consciousness. I do agree with that. 5 comets coming our way. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff that this year, hasn't there? Comets and asteroids, and all around, and all these interesting discoveries in the universe. Who names the comets? Is there more to it? Well, aren't they named by some like the whole NGC, non-general catalog people? I think they're like certain universities like where they name these things. Usually they're named after someone who finds them, but this one was like Shoemaker Levy. But this one was named after someone who, or Haley's. This one Neowise? Spaghetti Monster Comet. Yeah. But it's like the best comet in years, and yet it just seemed to show up out of the blue. where they had us all hyped up about previous comets that all turned out to be damn squids. Interesting, isn't it? Is Satanism a cover to trigger Christian conspiracy theories like to get them on tangent? I don't know. I wouldn't say so. I think Satanism doesn't really exist as Christians see it. I mean, the only Satanism I know about is LaVey Satanism, and I just think that's quite an interesting and a lot of good stuff going for it. I mean, the Satanic Bible is a great read. I mean, it's like I'd be lying if I didn't if I said that I didn't find that an amazing read when I was growing up. As a teenager, when I read it, I thought it was fantastic, and I still think it's Anton LaVey is a very interesting character. No, you see, Satanism. Like the word Satanism used to only mean someone who didn't go to church. If you were satanic, it meant you didn't go to church. It's only in recent times that the whole thing of a devil and all that stuff started off. That's a very recent invention, last couple of 100 years. Satanic just used to mean people in France were called satanique. If that meant they didn't go to church. Didn't mean they were doing anything else. It meant literally they just didn't go. Hello, Jessica. Snowflake. Are you really a snowflake? I love you too, my dear. Neowise is named after a telescope and a satellite spotted first. There you go, then. It's named by astronomer, the Neowise mission. Ah, there you go. Okay, that I was wondering where the name came from. Happy to catch you. Oh, that's it. So it's like it's actually Rasputin. Yeah, very interesting character. What's the purpose of the Jesuit spies? They're the CIA of the Vatican, not the Catholic Church. The Jesuits are the CIA of the Vatican. That's their purpose. Madame Blavatsky, not a fan. Mostly bullshit. The her writing is a joke. I mean, when you read the Secret Doctrine, it sounds like the ravings of a mad person. Uh, Endless sentences that don't. Well, she's got, of course, like anything, just these stories that they can't be corroborated. Uh, Endless the run-on sentences. The book is impossible. The Secret Doctrine is impossible to fucking read. The endless run-on sentences. It's just waffle. I mean, it's just waffle. Yeah, that's interesting about comets carrying diseases. I think Aurora, you could be onto something then. That about comets carrying actual illnesses. Remember, there was over Wuhan and in China. There was a right before the Rona started. There was literally a meteorite exploded over the city, and then suddenly everyone has the Rona. That's a very interesting thing to talk about. We don't hear enough about. It's very Lovecraftian, the idea of a virus coming from space, and is we don't know what the old ones really are, and how they could be the size of you know the outer beings could be the size of a virus. No, I don't think so. I think C333 is an entity all by itself. Very powerful one. It probably came into great power from Kelly and John D, who really gave it. Yeah, but Blavatsky's stuff is just rubbish. It's like you read this, you hear people saying there's a great mind and everything, and then you read her stuff and it's like waffle. Even for the time it was written, it was waffle. Yeah, well, Krishnamurti was kind of used as a little, wasn't he? Like, wasn't he raped by them and everything? Then he was brought as a kind of messiah child. I don't understand what Bono's agenda is. I just don't understand. Like U2 gave 10 million euros to fight the corona thing in Ireland. Now, where'd that money go? Did it go to buy masks? Did it go, I don't know. Did it go to to a research foundation belonging to Gates? I mean, I just don't understand Bono at all. I mean, and I've been watching some U2 concerts from recent ones from like the Joshua Tree tour. And the Joshua Tree tour, the anniversary Tree tour, he's not pure evil. He's not. He's not. I know so many people like him and know him and he says he's a really nice guy. Bono, that's not true about Bono. I just don't understand him. And I was watching the Joshua Tree tour there, and they sound as fantastic as ever. No, it's Larry that I feel sorry for in U2. He's the one that wants nothing to do with politics. He just wants to play in a band. The other two, Adam and Edge, Larry and Adam and Edge want to go along with it. No, Bono's not evil. Bono's actually, I've heard a lot of. I don't understand the man. I mean, I know so many people have met him. I've never met him. I said he's a really nice guy. He's a really nice man. But I don't know what's going on with why he hangs out with the Bushes and all these people. I think he's like he's a classic Irish Protestant that way. He's like a missionary. He wants to change the world or something. I don't know. Yeah, it was Larry's band to begin with. Have you ever seen that movie, Killing Bono? It's very good. I thought it'd be rubbish, but it's actually a very funny and very good film. It's about the early days of U2, and it's like the Dublin I grew up in at that time, and like the way gangsters used to run the music scene and everything. That film, Killing Bono, you want to see a really cute, a very very entertaining film, better than I expected is that one. Bono got Bono. Did it? That was very, yeah, mono. That was a very, very 80s thing. Did Geldof have anything to do with Michael Hutchins' death? I used to think he did, but then I read something about Michael Hutchins about a year ago, and he had been beaten up by a taxi driver in Copenhagen, uh, and he suffered some kind of brain damage from the beating that he got, and he was never the same person ever again. And so Michael Hutchinson seemed to have had like he had some kind of mental problem caused by being beat up by a taxi driver in Denmark, and he never got better. He only got worse. And it's a very sad story, very sad. I don't think anyone can check out the Vatican Library. No, you hear about that. Even the BBC can't get into the Vatican Library to do documentaries. That's how locked down it is. My battery's running down low, so I'll be leaving soon. Give another couple of minutes. So, yeah, I heard about that. The loss of sense of smell makes people suicidal. I don't know what that's about. And that makes them depressed. Yeah, I was just telling Mark Passio earlier on. I like a lot of his stuff. Bannon Trillic, Bannon Trillic was where they took down the huge dolmen. Who runs the Vatican now? The Jesuits. That's why they have their man in there now. See, the Vatican and the Jesuits is like the USA and government and the CIA. When the CIA took over the US government, they did it with George Bush Sr., who was a big man. And what are the things in the Vatican Library? Everything is in the Vatican Library. The true history of Europe. They've been lying to us about the dates and everything. The Vatican Library has everything. But the Jesuits now run the Vatican more than the Catholic Church, and that's what's going on there now. Just like when the Bushes, when George Bush Sr. was U.S. president, the CIA ran it. Okay, folks, I have to go now. It's getting dark, and I want to go to see the last two episodes of the Enfield Poltergeist. So check that out, the Enfield Poltergeist TV show. Okay, good night, everybody. Thanks for the chat. Love yous all, and take care and have a lovely, lovely weekend. Goodbye from Maurice.